Hey LinkedIn, we're just thinking about talent and A players. A lot of people talk about A players, but I take my son to hockey, and he's 9, and he's been doing it for about a year and a half, and it's very interesting to see it illustrated on the ice. Especially with younger kids learning something. But it is true that there's a big difference between an A player and a B and C player. And there's a quote out there, Steve Jobs talks about how A players don't like to play with B and C players, and I think that's true, and it really shows up in sports. But I noticed that specifically with hockey, probably any sport, but specifically with hockey, the B or C player will make it hard, and it will look hard to that person, because it is hard to them, because they're not quite at the A level, right? They're at the B or C level, and so they're not good enough, quite frankly. They're not good enough, or they're not practicing enough, or they're not putting in the work, or they're not at that stage. And so for them it is hard, and it looks hard, and it's efforty, and they just don't fit. And so when you put together a team, let's say you put together kids who all know how to play hockey at a higher level, and they're all A players, hockey just happens, and it just looks good. And it's the same thing with a company, really. You could have somebody that is a B or C player, and they may not just be a fit for your company. It could be an A player somewhere else, but they may be a B or C player, and problems come from that area, and it's just efforty, and it's hard, and things seem difficult, and there's challenges that happen all the time. And you kind of go, well, what is going on here? But then you put an A player in that same spot, and things just work. It just goes, and you realize, okay, it's just the player. And there's a flip side of that too, though. I just finished this Harvard online course, which was great, by the way. They do a great job, really, really great job. And it reminded me of like the training. So many things can be handled with training. Almost everything can be handled with training. At the end of that course, I was like, geez, companies need to build their own Harvard Business School online internally at their company, because you need to put in the emphasis to train every single person. And I think almost everything can be trained, even if it's your vision, your core values, and aligned to the vision, or it could be sales, it could be marketing, it could be whatever. Everything can be trained. If you take an A player and then you train them, and you have everything you need to train, and you built your own training system, training way, all the training content, everything they need, the videos, the drills, everything in it, and you've built your own sort of like Harvard Business Online internally at your company, you can solve a lot of the problems within the company. And then every now and then you'll have to, like, some of the B players only need to be trained, and then some of them just need to be removed. But training does handle all in many ways. And obviously some are unwilling or not going to be there or whatever, but training, the emphasis of training, like having training in there. Going back to hockey, it's like practice. There's a datum out there that says that it's you have to do 17 games to every one good practice, right? So if you have one good practice, it's the equivalent of playing 17 games. And I think that's true, and that's what training is in a company. In a company, it's like you have to have all of the training materials. So if you're trying to get anything done, map out where you want to go, what are all the different sequences, and how do you train and bake that in, and make sure that you have everything you need to make sure that they get the exact outcome, and you have a repeatable model so you can train anyone at any time, and then run all players through that. What you're going to experience is everybody's going to level up and become more like that A player. You can go shop around and try and find, all the A players you need, and you should, but you can also invest in your own internal systems to like build the highest caliber people that you can, and maintain a culture of longevity and people who are there. So I think, and we do a lot of training content. We've done a lot of training content for many large companies, and we've done this for companies, and I think that it's worthwhile to invest time and energy into building training repeatable models, like the content and the material that's going to allow you to train anyone on any role at any time.